Hello viewers, welcome back to Ohio Airgun Shooter. What I have here is my Diana 240. This is a .177 caliber break barrel spring piston air rifle, which I have reviewed, tested, and shot in previous videos. And in a couple of those videos, I kept mentioning that it reminded me of an air rifle that I previously owned, which I regrettably sold way back in 2012. And that air rifle was the Webley and Scott Xocet in .25 caliber, actually a UK made Webley. So fast forward to 2026. And here is the Webley and Scott Xocet in .25 caliber. Now they were produced between 2001 and 2006. Now quickly going by the serial number, I haven't checked it online or anything. Looks like it's probably a 2002 to 2005 model. The serial number actually reads like 925119. So I'm thinking it's the 119th production model of, I would say, what, 2005. I mean, anybody, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Any UK fellows out there that are more familiar with the serial numbers, if you can help me out and let me know, I appreciate that. But it's definitely Birmingham factory made before they moved production to Turkey. I don't know if they actually moved production or they just sold everything to Turkey, or I guess it would be Hatsan. But yeah, this is a beautifully made UK built and made spring piston break barrel air rifle, the Webley and Scott Xocet in .25 caliber. Now this one is it's a carbine. It has a 14.5 barrel. If I go from the very end of the muzzle to right where the loading breech starts, you're looking at what, 14.5 inches. That's one reason why I kind of fell in love with it, is just its compact size in a .25 caliber, which from what I'm reading makes these quite rare and desirable, especially now that, again, production of Webleys have been moved to Turkey. Now, the one that I sold back in 2012, I sold to somebody in, I believe it was Arizona or Oklahoma. But I know this one is definitely not the same one. I believe it came from California. And my stock on the one that I sold was not this nice. You can see the wood grain. Very nice. It's even nicer on the other side. Let me turn it around. Give me 1 second here. All right, here we go. You can see how just nice the stock is. Very nice. There's no checkering, or was it stippling? There is no safety on this at all. It does have the globed or hooded front sight, adjustable rear sight, no fiber optics. So it does have the dovetail rail on top. But yeah, just when I sold it, I continued to regret it even more and more, especially, after they moved to Turkey. I was like, oh, no more UK made Webleys. But I was so excited to find another one, and I feel complete now. I just love this model of air rifle so much, and just wanted to share this with you. Did a couple of tests over the chronograph. States that they get a velocity of up to 650 feet per second. I've been kind of looking. I don't know if they made a longer barrel version of this, so I'm assuming that was probably with a longer barrel version, or with lighter pellets. But I did initially test some of these. This tin here says Beeman, but they are an H&N. Field Target Specials. These are 20 grains. Now I weighed some of these and they were coming in just under 20 at around 19 and some change. But I think I got a high of like 583 feet per second. And then it came in right around like 573 feet per second, like the third shot that I tried. So, seems to be shooting well, right where it should be. I think the 650 is probably asking a lot for this, being that it's only a 14.5-inch barrel. But I'm sure you can achieve that with even lighter pellets or even alloys. But I have a few left with these. I also have some of these Benjamin. These are actually 6.4 millimeter. They're slightly larger. These come in right around 30 grains. These are more for your the PCPs that they had. I believe the Marauder, when they introduced these, heavier pellets for it. I do have some 25 grain Predator Polymags still. I have a mixture of some pellets in here. These were the Beeman, again, H&N. These were the Ramjets. I have some of these left. I think these came in, I was weighing these, I think they come in right around 24 grains. Yeah, these were coming in at 24 grain. I did have some Barracudas, or at the time, in this, the Beeman name, they were branded as Kodiaks. They're coming in at, let me see, 30.5 grains. And then, the Benjamin, let me take that back. The Benjamins were coming in at 28 grain. The Kodiaks, or Barracudas, were coming in at a 30 grain. And then I had these, I forget what these are called, but they were also a Beeman brand. I forget what these are called, but I just threw a bunch of them in here. I had a few left, so they kind of got mixed up. But these come in at 24 grains. And then I do have some of these JSB Exacts. These are 25.35 grains or something. And I weighed a few of these, and they came in at right around 25 grains. So these are pretty good pellets. And the only other thing that I have in 25 are these old tin of Samyang. However, these are way too heavy. They're right around 42 grains. So most likely I will not shoot these in this. I think I bought them for my Walther Falcon Hunter, which was a Hudson made, but Walther labeled branded air rifle in 25 caliber. If you watched any of my previous videos, I've mentioned it a few times. But yeah, these are way too heavy. More for your stronger PCPs. But tell you what, we'll go ahead and do a little quick test here. Run a little chronograph here inside. That way you can see how it's shooting. I already tested a few, and it seems to be shooting just fine. It cocks just fine. The O-ring is flawless. I did put a little dab of silicone oil around it. Believe nothing has been done to this. No tunes or anything. So it's pretty much as is from when it came from the factory. So let me get my chronograph set up, and we'll just run a few pellets over it, and that way you can see, what velocity it's shooting at. All right, well, we'll test what these are the lightest that I have. Again, it says here 20, right around 20 grains, 20.06, I think it says. I weighed some. They were coming in anywhere from 19 to the 20 grains. And then, again, these are labeled under the Beeman name, but they are an H&N pellet. And I'll try these 25 grain JSB. These are the King 25. So I haven't bought any new 25 caliber pellets in a long time since I sold it. It was my last 25 that I sold. So pretty much everything I've had since then. So I'll have to probably see what they got. Maybe find something a little lighter weight. I did have some Webleys. I think they were called the Mosquitoes. But when I sold my first Webley Xocet, I just kind of sent those off with it, as a little bonus. But we'll test these two out, and we'll see what kind of numbers we're getting. Again, it only has a 14.5-inch barrel. However, cocking effort is very light. We'll start with the Beeman Field Target Specials. 19 to 20 grain. I think those, I can't remember, but I think the Mosquitoes are maybe right around 17. They were awful light. So maybe that's where they got the 650 feet per second with. I can't remember, but we'll do 5 of each. I might actually try those ramjets. I sorted out 5 of them because they're right around 24, so they're kind of in between. Again, no safety on this. There's the trigger. You can definitely tell it's not Turkish because that's one of the dead giveaways of your Turkish model Webleys is the trigger. So, all right, let's see what we're getting. Again, I think with these, when I first tested it, because I had to, out of the box, just from the seller, I wanted to test it, make sure it was working, and it was. So, I think my highest was like 581, 583. $562.8. $551.7. $564.8. I don't know how long this thing was sitting before I got it. I mean, could have had some oils built up in the chamber here. Maybe that's why I got the 581, but it's doing pretty good. That's kind of where I expect it to be. 563.4. All right, one more. Has a very smooth cocking cycle. 569.2. So a bit lower from when I first initially tested it, but that's right around where I expect it with a heavy 20 grain pellet. So let's try some of the exacts. These are 25 grain, so I'm thinking maybe 550s. All these tins are still pretty full. There's one for the carpet, but I don't know if you can see the O-ring in there. I mean, very nice shape. All right, 25 grain JSB Exact Kings. 509.5. I mean, it's not a Magnum Springer, so it's not going to be very powerful, but you are chunking a 1/4-inch piece of lead downrange. 516. 3 more here. $512. 510.3. All right, last one. 507.3. So right around the 510s with the 25 grain JSB exacts. Let me try 5 of those ramjets that I sorted out. These are right in between at 24 grains. Now here are the ramjets, as you can see, beaming. There's the label. Made in Germany, but they are H&N. Doesn't have the weight, but I weighed them, and again, they're coming in right around 20, I believe, 4 grains. So let's see how these shoot. Here's what they look like. They're kind of a wad cutter with a little bit of a dome. So there's a little less lead on these on the head there. So I just wonder how that will affect velocity compared to the other 2 that I shot, because the heads on them were a little bit more beefier, a little bit more lead. So pretty much these are mostly all skirt. So let's see how well these do. And I'm not sure if H&N still makes these, if they're under a different name, but you know, these are the Beeman ramjets. All right, next up, let's try these ramjets. Again, 24 grain. Well, those drop in really loose. Yeah, a lot less lead on the head compared to the skirt. So let's see how these do. .2. Yeah, those drop right in. .24. So these are right between the 25 and the 20, so they're shooting right between the 25 and the 20s. So I mean, that's kind of what I expected out of this. At the time when I first had one of these, I didn't even have a chronograph, so I had no idea where it was shooting. 526.3. All right, 2 more. .29.4. All right. 530.2. So looks like we started at 530, dropped a little bit, and then back up to 530. So not too bad. That's the Beeman ramjets. Again, H&N, but I have no idea what these are called now, or you know, even if they still make them. So seems to be shooting and just doing just fine. All right, so here's the bottom view. So it's shooting at a constant velocity, you know, not quite the 650, but you know, that's kind of where I'm expecting it to shoot. But you can just see this very nice wood stock. The trigger guard is metal, trigger is metal. Very nice trigger. Should get a weight on that. We'll do it in another video. Just look at the waves, the pattern of the grain on this. It's just been well taken care of. There you go. I believe it's just, let me see. Yeah, they got the comb on this side. So it's definitely for right-handed shooters, but no problem for left-handed. No, actually it does have it on both sides. Yep, so right or left-handed. It's just so subtle you barely even notice it. So yeah, definitely very nice, beautiful wood stock. Again, no checkering, very smooth. Yeah, the Webley, UK Webley Xocet spring piston brake barrel air rifle in 25 caliber. This does have a rubber butt pad. Again, just like mine, except this one has a much nicer stock. The beautiful UK-made Webley and Scott Xocet spring piston brake barrel air rifle in 25 caliber. For something that's right around or over 20 years old, this thing is in mint pristine condition, shoots well, and it just looks great. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Hopefully we can get this thing outside and do some accuracy testing.